Welcome to Talk Therapy Live. It is we.
All right, welcome. Y'all hear that good music playing in the background, and it's still playing. So we're just kind of giving you all time to come on in today for this wonderful show that has been planned for you, with you in mind, of course. And so we welcome you to Talk Therapy Live. I'm here with the therapist.
Hey, and I'm here with the bishop today.
It's a beautiful day outside, and I can't wait to get out in it. What about you?
Just the same.
Just the
My
same.
sentiments, exactly.
All
I've been in the
right.
house all week.
Yes.
But come on in.
Yep.
Make sure that you share, like, and comment.
Share, like, comment. Mary Stevenson is the first one in
Hey,
here.
good morning.
And congratulations to her.
Yes.
Amen. I heard she graduated from some type of school. Minister school.
Class.
So congratulations to Minister Stevenson.
Yes. Thank you for coming in. Make sure you smash that like and share button today. I am your host, Kimberly Bozeman.
I'm Bishop Bozeman right here in Talk Therapy Live studio. That's where I am.
And you are listening to a Gold Chip communication station. You can listen live by going to www.w1580thepraise.com and click on Listen Now.
Yeah.
We have a hot topic for you today, and it is the enemy of change.
The enemy of change. First, let me say, how is your morning going? How is it?
My morning is going very well.
Wonderful.
Kind of slow. I like it. I'm not used to that, but it's going good. I'm alive. I'm well.
Yeah.
I'm well, you
know. Yeah. Depending on where you're from, you're either well or I'm a well. Depending on where you're from.
Yes, God is good. He is
very good. I'm excited today to be on the show. Definitely excited for the day that God has made that we might enjoy today.
Yes,
indeed. So hey, it's a beautiful day. And we are here on Talk Therapy Live.
That's
I can't say it enough. Talk Therapy Live, which is located at 1011 East Jenkins, right? Jenkins Street, right here in the city of Columbus, 43207.
Yes, 43207.
Right. What a phenomenal therapist right here. I know she's trying to jump right in, but we're giving y'all time to come on in today. Come on in.
Yes. So I do own Healthy Emotes Counseling Services. If you or someone you know needs mental health therapy, contact my office at 614-669-5115. We all need someone to talk to at some point in our lives. Amen.
That's true. We do. That's why I married you. I need someone to talk to. Right? I married a therapist for a reason.
Yes, you did. God does all things well. And you're my therapist, because let me tell you, every therapist needs a therapist.
That's true.
I see my sis Brittany Bloom Bozeman is here.
Welcome.
Good morning to you. Make sure that you share. Make sure you share and comment. Again, the enemy of change, because we've been talking a lot about self-betterment, introspection, self-improvement, so self-improvement and all of that really requires us to change. But change is often hard for people, and the older we get, the harder that it seems to be. So today we want to talk about the different stages of change. We want to talk about the cycle of change. And then we want to talk about the enemy of change. All right. So some of the stages of change, of course, is pre-contemplation. So pre-contemplation is basically everybody around you know that there is a problem. Everyone knows but you. Everybody sees your behavior. Everybody sees your attitude. Everybody knows that you're stuck, but you're like oblivious to what needs to change, right? Because a person like this feels like it's not them, it's everybody else. So we're trying to talk to you about, perhaps doing things a little differently, and then you can kind of move into the contemplation stage. So contemplation is basically, okay, I'm aware that there's a problem, but I'm ambivalent about changing. And that word ambivalent means I'm going back and forth, back and forth. Is it really worth it? Do I want to put in the work? Maybe I don't really need to change. You're just kind of back and forth,
Yeah.
in your mind. So you're kind of weighing the positives and the negatives, because we understand that change is going to require what?
What? Work.
WOR to the K.
Yeah.
Work.
Work, acceptance, all of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So those are two stages. You have pre-contemplation and then contemplation. I'm thinking about change.
Mhm.
So oftentimes people want to stop smoking, they want to stop drinking, they want to stop swearing,
Mhm.
they want to lose weight,
Yeah.
they want to move into a different occupation. They just want to total overhaul. But all of this requires change.
Most definitely.
All right. So when you move into the preparation phase, which is number 3, this is where I'm like, okay, maybe I do need to change. I see it now. So I'm accepting the responsibility.
Mhm.
And the responsibility is not on people around me, because I need to change. And a lot of times we want other people to change.
Yeah.
But like I tell people often, is that people around you will change when you change.
That is true.
So you get to the point where, okay, I accept responsibility. I begin evaluating the things in my life, that really need to change and what I need to do.
And when you say that, I often tell people, for those who, say that, I don't care what people say or what people think about me. I always say that you should.
You really
Right?
should.
You should care to a certain degree, that if what they're saying is true,
Yes.
then maybe there is a need for change in your life.
That's right.
So we can't become so closed-minded to whereas we don't accept, the radical change that needs to be made, but also the constructive criticism.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. And look at constructive criticism as a friend and not an enemy, because
Yeah.
sometimes we can be so sensitive and closed-minded. We don't want to hear what anybody
Right.
else has to say.
Right.
And the excuse that I don't care what other people think is just an excuse for you not to bring about change,
Yeah.
and you not to put the work in.
Yeah.
So if we look at constructive criticism as a friend, what this is really doing, it is causing us to become a better person.
Mhm.
We want the light, to shine
Yeah.
on our shadow selves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's uncomfortable, right? It is uncomfortable. I mean, who
Any
likes
kind of change,
right?
So
Yeah.
even if you're talking about change, there's such a vast, place of change. Whenever you talk about change, it seems like you're talking more of a personal type of change. I know you're talking about 3 stages, but change overall is very hard. It's very hard. So it's something that is inevitable. You always have to get used to things changing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whether it's personal, whether it's your community changing, that's a whole nother story, but maybe we can discuss that a little later too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But one thing that is consistent in this life is change.
Mhm.
But this is about your self-improvement. You can expect change if you don't do anything to change it.
Yeah.
So again, these are the stages of change. And this is why we have to be um, um, uh, patient with people as they go through the change process, because everybody doesn't just jump up and change.
Right.
These are stages that they go through,
Yeah.
because change is hard. Now,
Yeah.
and people have egos,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you need to get off the couch. You talk about you want a job and da-da-da, but you're not doing anything to get that
Right.
job.
Yeah.
So we have to be patient with people, because they do go back and forth. Okay. And we'll get more into that also.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the next stage we want them to move into is the action plan.
Mhm.
You must have an action plan.
So change is very difficult when you don't see the need to change, right?
Yes.
That's when it's hard.
Yes.
When you don't see the need to change, then it becomes doable when you see that, hey, I must take action.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's
You
right.
have to be willing to change. When you're willing to change, then it makes it easier. You can start the progress of what, or the progress of changing.
That's right.
You know? So yeah, it gets easier when you're like, okay, I need to do this.
Right.
You'll take
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. You move into the contemplation.
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps they're right. You know, or perhaps I am tired of murmuring, complaining about these jeans that I can't get into.
Yeah.
So now I move into, you know, the action stage. Yes. Yes. The preparation stage, again, is when you start accepting the responsibility. Nobody else is forcing chocolate cake, carrot cake down my throat. I'm doing that myself. That's my responsibility. So then I take action.
But you know what? When it comes to change, I believe a lot of times it's just, you know, people often, they kind of validate, or what's the other word I want to use? They, because a lot of times in our subconscious mind, we know we need to change.
Yes.
You know, we know we need to change. And then someone else will come along and kind of, you know, put the stamp of approval on the fact that, yeah, you need to change. You know, so it's like, you know it. Because oftentimes the greatest enemy of change is self.
Is self. That's right.
You know you need to. And then, you know, between you doing it, putting the action forward to your changing is a whole different story. But you already know, you've been telling yourself you need to change, or there needs to be a change.
Right.
And someone comes along and say to you, hey, have you ever thought about changing?
And you're so right. You know, we tend to self-sabotage. And that word enemy, I like it because it's like in me. It's enemy. It's inside of me. You know what I mean? So you are in your own way. And this is what we call intrinsic motivation, because sometimes we can want to change for the sake of other people. You know what I mean? We're tired of hearing someone's mouth, you know, so, okay, I'm going to do it for them. But inside, you haven't changed at all.
And you know what? That's good and bad. You know, because depending on the situation, you may need to change for somebody else. You know what I mean? So it's not all, I don't think it's just a bad thing, but you can't be so stuck up in yourself. You be like, this is who I am. I'm not going. Sometimes, whether or not if you feel like it, you need to do it. In order for whatever relationship you have to work better.
That is so true. That's the compromise in relationships. So the best way is extrinsic motivation and intrinsic. When you have intrinsic motivation, like when you really see, you know, you have that aha moment, and you really see that you need to make some changes.
You know that
it's more lasting. It's long lasting effects versus the extrinsic motivation, because people come, people go. So if I change for you, you know, and you know,
again, depends on who it is. You know, depending if you got a lifer, then you go ahead and work with that. You know, it depends on who it is. You know, so that's why I say change is so vast, which we're talking about, because it takes on so many other different dynamics.
It does.
You know, so we talk about change in relationship, community change, you know, changing yourself. You know, this is a great topic, but most of it has to do with the enemy that is within, because you have to accept it.
That's right. So is it really an enemy within or a friend within? Because if the enemy inside of me is holding me back, then I have the capacity to evaluate, why is this? You know what I mean? What is really holding me back? So it's really causing me to introspect and to evaluate more. And then I get to make a decision. Do I want to overcome this? So we can look at it, because what the enemy within is doing is pointing to what you need to do to be more successful. You know, so we need an action plan. So we engage in self-directed behavior, right? This is self-directed behavior. No one should be standing over your shoulder all the time telling you to get the bonbons and candy out of your mouth. Self-directed behavior. All right. And then the fifth stage, after we take the action, is maintenance. You have to maintain your change because we've been wired a certain way for so long.
Correct.
You know,
that's why change is difficult.
mm-hmm.
You know, you may have you know, the mindset to change, but when you've been operating in a certain way all your life, of course, depending upon your age, it's very difficult for you to do it. But if you're willing to, it can happen.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And sometimes it's with a fight because you're in the routine of your life.
Yes.
So sometimes it's hard to break the routine
because you're hardwired.
Something else. Yeah, most definitely.
Change is hard, but it's doable. I want to say good morning to our son, Larry Martin.
Good morning.
Is here. Good morning. So change is hard, but change is doable. It's just like when they call in, when there's a bomb threat and they call in the bomb squad, right? You have wiring there. So it takes someone that is skilled to go in and rewire. They have to know what they're doing.
They got to clip the right wire.
They better clip the right wire.
Right. They have to clip the right wire.
Right. Seriously. You know, but he didn't get there with that knowledge and that skill set without practicing first.
Right.
You know, so on your journey of change, you're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs, you're going to have some defeats, and you're going to have some victories.
Yeah.
But the more you practice something, the more you perfect it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to take all of that. You know what I mean? Just the work ethic to maintenance or to maintain your change. But oftentimes, as they say, old habits die hard.
Ooh, yes, they do.
You know,
seriously,
if they die at all.
I think we all can testify to that, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. And the fight again, the battle is within.
It is, most definitely.
But the war is also one within too.
It is, yeah. Because you know the greatest enemy is within your mind.
Yes.
You know, because spiritually, we know that's where the the war, the battle is in the mind.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if anything is going to be of great benefit to you, you know, whether it's spiritually, whether it's physically, whether it's financially, whatever the case may be, socially, then you should really entertain the thought of changing, take action to change, because it's for the betterment of yourself.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you're changed and others around you, like you start off saying, will change, man, it will be happy.
Yeah.
That you finally.
Yes. and you'll be happy too, because it helps us to realize our inner strength.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then you'll realize, hey, you can't beat yourself up, you know, for what you know now. You know, oftentimes people say, you know, I'm so mad at me. I feel mad at myself. I feel as if I've wasted so many years. Man, you can't go back and undo yesterday, but you can make your present and your future much better.
Yes.
Yesterday is gone.
That's right.
It's in the tomb, as they say.
Yes.
It's buried. It's gone.
That's right. And we have to be careful too, you know, and we use that term loosely. I want to say good morning to my brother, Robert Bozeman. Yes. We have to be careful when we use terms like that. Like, I beat myself up all the time, because you really are beating yourself up. And if you would say that about someone else, like I beat him up all the time, or I beat her up all the time, then that's a form of abuse. You know, so we cannot or should not abuse ourselves. So we have to be careful the words that we speak, because essentially we are beating ourselves up because we don't like ourselves. You know, we turn against ourselves. We're not proud of ourselves. But what we should do is encourage ourselves.
Exactly.
If you have small progress, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself that I am proud of you and that we can do this. You know, remember that a house divided can't stand. So you can't just function from the lighter version of yourself versus the shadow version of yourself, because you're supposed to be one.
Right.
So we have to embrace both sides.
Exactly.
right? So we're not functioning from a fraction of yourself. You have to love yourself in your totality.
Right.
So again, we're talking about the stages of change. We talked about the pre-contemplation, the contemplation, the preparation, the action phase, but most importantly, the decision. You have to decide to change.
Yeah.
You must decide that this is actually an event.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You cannot passively be like, well, look, start Monday.
Yeah.
Then Monday come, I'll start next Monday.
Yeah.
You must decide to change. And not only that, you have to decide what is it you're going to change?
Yeah.
What is it?
But when you get that feeling to change, you need to act immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in motion. When you get that feeling to change, you need to do it, because if not, it will be stolen from you just as fast as it came into your head.
Wow, that's good.
That so is you have to move immediately towards what it is that you need to change, and then you have to seek counsel when it comes to changing.
Yeah,
you don't have all the answers yourself.
That's
right. So hey, I feel like I need to change A, B, C, and D. Let me go talk to my spiritual leader, my pastor. Let me go talk to healthy emo, someone who specializes in the psyche.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that you can at least get on the right track. You will really feel better.
Yeah.
Once you make the initial step to change.
That's right.
Or to reach out and to call someone and say, hey, I kind of need help.
Yeah,
in this area.
Because a support system is everything.
It's very important.
It's everything.
Very
People
important.
who have a support system are more, the percentage of successes is much greater than those that don't have a support system. Yeah. You don't need a huge support system, one or two people.
You need the right support system.
That's
what you
right.
need. You need the right support system.
Someone who is going to speak the truth in love.
It's not about the the quantity of how many people, but the quality of care that you receive from the person who's actually trying to assist in him.
Right. Yeah. I have a friend, we've been friends for probably over 40 years now, but I love her to pieces because she has always told me the truth. Yeah. It may not have been what I wanted to hear, right, but she told me the truth. And that's what we need in our life. People who are going to be honest with you.
Yeah, most definitely. But that's hard today because people are so self-absorbed. They do not want to receive instruction from others or constructive criticism from others. Yeah. And I think I said in a Bible study, it's very important that you have that person who can tell you about you, because they don't have no hidden agenda. The only thing they want is for you to enjoy the best of what it is that you're trying to do. Exactly. So harsh words and things of that nature, you need that. Yeah. It builds you.
And what has happened is that because of other people's attitudes where they don't want to receive, they've made it hard for people to speak into their lives.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? Because of the backlash. And people are not, people who love you are not trying to hurt you. They're trying to help you. Yeah. But then when you come back at them all wrong, it causes them to shut down. Now they may see you going in the wrong direction, but they may be afraid to say something because of your attitude. Yeah. So just look at it as love. Yeah. Well,
it's like you going to the doctor and they saying the doctor come in like, look here, I got these papers in my hand. This is what's going on with you. And if you don't change, you're probably not going to live. Right. And you get an attitude with the doctor for what you've done to yourself, but he's giving you the right news.
That's right.
And then the steps in order for you, the principles in order for you to practice in order to change.
That's right. And we're going to talk about about that as far as the enemy of change. Yeah. Because that is so true. So again, take it as constructive criticism. Like this person cares enough to take time, and to see, because we're taking a chance when we
don't always be on the defense. Don't always be on the defense all the time.
Right.
Nobody's trying to take you out, kill you, or stop you from progressing in life.
If there's truth to it, take it, apply it, make changes. If it's not truth to it, then cover it in love and keep it moving.
But if it comes from a person who really knows you, in most cases, it's coming from a place of truth.
But sometimes people will not catch the revelation until later.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
It can be 6 months down the road. It
That
can
is
be
true.
after the
Yeah.
person who told them is dead and gone.
But as long as you catch it. As long as you catch it, I don't care how,
Yeah.
because it's like this when it really about change. And we talked just a few moments ago about sometimes you kind of hate yourself for maybe the lost time,
Yeah.
what you could have done and being in 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I always like to say still that is kind of fuel. It's much fuel for what it is that you need to do. Change is not. I wouldn't say it's too late, right?
Yeah,
People
correct.
say, "Hey, I'm 70 years old. It's too
Doesn't
late
matter.
for me to change. I wasted all these years." But check this out: with all those years that you've accumulated in life, procrastinating, all of that, but you gain a lot of wisdom
Yes.
and experience. So now when you get ready to go and move forward and do what it is you want to do, you can really do it.
That's
because
right.
you really have a whole lot of life lessons in order, hey.
Absolutely. And if you're 70 years old and now it's incumbent upon you to bring about change in your life, and you have 5 more years to live, it can be the best 5 years
Most
of
definitely.
your life.
That's
all
true.
from making a change.
That's
Just
true.
because you've been going down a one-way street the wrong way forever don't mean you got to continue in that way.
Man,
as long as you're inhaling and exhaling, you can begin again. All right. Y'all hit that share button now. Hit that share. We got to help somebody else.
Jump on in with us too.
So we know with the stages of change that, and this is for anybody, it's not just for people who are on drugs and alcohol, that relapse is always a possibility.
Most definitely.
It's always a possibility. So, and it can occur at any time. Like you can be like, oh, I got this thing down pat. I've overcome myself. I've defeated procrastination. But don't forget, there's that wiring where you've been wired for so long. And sometimes we'll fall back on autopilot. You may wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm following those same patterns again. But you still have the same power within to overcome.
But like you said, the maintenance of it.
Yes.
When you maintenance on what it is you're trying to do, that means you're kind of reevaluating. You're kind of checking it out and see, hey, because you'll say that, man, I've gotten right back in the groove where I don't want to be.
Exactly. That autopilot is real.
Man, most definitely.
It is
But
real.
the relapse part, I talked about it at Bible study. It's really the same principle in mind. When you talk about being born again and, this new life, putting off the old and putting on the new man. And I say it, and it's so true. Oftentimes we relapse.
Yes, sir.
Or we backslide, or we go back. You understand?
True.
Same principle in mind.
It is.
So we have to shake ourselves, get out of that groove, try our very best not to return to that. But I believe the most of our success keeps us from going back. But we'll always have the invitation to come.
It's just like, trying to consume less sugar. You know what I mean? And it's really going to require for us all, no matter what you're trying to do, is to be mindful. Because you can have something in your mouth before you know it. You're like, I just ate some candy and I'm trying not to.
Right. You're trying not to, but it's such a part of your life. You get on it, man.
Yes. So we have to be mindful. We have to slow down enough to know what we're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we just have to be mindful and see, how we feel, what we're doing, what actions that we're taking. And when you relapse, we're not going to beat ourselves up.
Right.
Okay. You're going to still love you.
Yeah.
Because we can begin again.
Yeah. So you don't have to fall for, I can't believe you've done it again. And, because who wants to go back to that place where you were unsuccessful? Your life was dormant. There's nothing that was productive at all. No one wants to go back there.
That's right.
At all.
So
the maintenance of your change keeps you from going. You become more aware, especially if you have others that are around you that are trying to pull you back to that place, you know, hey, I got to limit our time together on the phone, on Facebook. You haven't changed at all.
Right. Yeah.
But I am.
That's right. Yeah.
I am.
Everybody is not conducive for your journey.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to cut ties. You can love them
Yeah.
all day long, talk to them
Yeah.
every now and then, but they cannot be in your circle.
Yeah. I've learned that, and it's taken time to learn that not everybody that's in your life currently is supposed to be in your life for the long haul.
That's right. And it's okay.
I learned that.
It's okay because God does all things well.
He does.
You know, He's going to give you who you need to catapult you further.
Yeah. A lot of people can't accept your change or the new you.
Right. Yeah.
I like you better when you ain't have nothing.
Well,
you know, for real. I mean, you know, and then when you get a whole new group of friends and, you know, all of that, you know, people get lost in your success.
Yeah.
When you're still grounded on what got you there.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
But the best thing you can do for yourself and for your enemies is to succeed.
That's it.
You
don't have to cuss them out. You don't have to call them, talk about their mama. You don't have to do nothing. Only thing you have to do is succeed.
That's right. That's
Man,
right. Because if you gonna talk about me, I'm gonna give you something to talk about. It's gonna be all good though. It's gonna be all good.
That's true.
Good morning to Nadine Lauderdale is here.
Morning.
Good morning. Y'all keep sharing.
Good morning, Mama.
And liking. Put y'all's comments in there. What do you all think? What are some of the struggles that you have found as far as is it procrastination? Is it because we're talking about the enemy of change? All right. So tell us your story also. So we talked about the different stages of change. So we have to be patient with people, you know, because they may be a little bit ambivalent at first. They may not be ready for change.
And be patient with yourself while you're changing.
That's right. That's good.
You gotta be careful with your, patient with yourself.
Be patient with yourself. Remember, do not beat yourself up. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of what you've done already. I'm proud that you have acknowledged the need for change. You know, and we can do this together. House divided cannot stand. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about the process of making changes. So number one, of course, is the awareness. We have to wake up and see the need. There is an awareness now. I may be 50 pounds overweight now, but I still got the awareness that I need to do something about it.
So if you're 50 pounds overweight and you're trying your best to change, frustration comes when you don't see the change immediately.
Yes, and it's not going to come immediately
because you have to work that off. You didn't get 50 pounds overweight overnight.
That's right.
It kind of grew on you.
That's right.
Change has to do the same thing.
Yes.
Change. The more you do it, you can say, "Oh, I'm changing." I can see the benefit of me doing this in order to change. You know, so you don't get on a treadmill immediately. You don't lost 12 pounds.
Right. We wish.
You got to keep working.
we wish. You know, but it's that awareness. Even if you're smoking cigarettes, you know, or crack, or you're drinking alcohol, that awareness that I need to change. I mean, what caused us to become aware? Is it now that your body has kept the score? Now now it's breaking down on you. Is it that you've destroyed relationships with your addiction? You know what I mean?
That, you know what? It's so crazy you said that your body keeps the score. We know that's true, right? Because God is so gracious to us, whereas He will allow us. He loves us this much. He will allow us to make up our minds to change. And what we don't make up our minds to change, if we're still here, He will allow for time to do it for us.
Wow.
Sometimes time,
and that's still His grace, though.
It's still His grace. Come on now. You walk around here thinking you all that, and listen, sometimes He will allow for time to do that.
Yes.
You're too old to do it now. Man, He kind of saved your life in another way.
Right, exactly.
Trying
to.
Because
some of us will push beyond the boundaries.
Most definitely. What does that say? Because I know change is needed. What did I say?
Stepped out on faith.
I stepped out on faith, increasing my trust in God. Most definitely.
That's right.
It'll make you do that.
And God is definitely there to help you. You can't help but to be successful when you have Him as your partner. because we're in it together. My heart goes out to clients really who don't have God. You know, they change is still doable, but my Lord, today when you have that helper.
Yeah. And we talked about it at Bible study. Now, he's not going to do all the work.
Right. But
so he tells us you need to do.
Right.
And I got you, though.
Yes, but he's showing
he's the
up
best
there
support.
too. Yes.
Best support. Yeah.
Indeed, because there's no way. You're talking about changing and how I hated my ex-husband and I was resentful and bitter. There is no way I could have forgiven him without God's help. I on my own, I could not have done that. Yeah. But with God, all things are possible. Yeah. And he wants us to be the best version of ourselves. So of course, he's going to come in and help us. Yeah. All right. Brittany says imposter syndrome is a big stumbling block in change. Yeah, you got to, all of that is about an ego. Yeah. You got to let go of the ego, because at the end of the day, when you look at yourself in the mirror, ain't no imposter. It's the real you. It's the raw you in that mirror. You know, so you can love yourself and fully accept and embrace yourself. You know, it's necessary for you to bring about changes. Forget people. People come, people go. You know, and I bet who are you after all of that? Yeah. Who are you? And like we said earlier, you know, when it comes to change, depending on your relationship, if you're married, and you're, you know, in that type of relationship, what you have to work at changing, do that. Yes. Work at it. You may not feel it inside to change, but you know if it's going to make the other one, your other half, feel better and there's a better response. Go ahead and change until you start liking it yourself. But who likes working out? But see, that's love in action, though. Yeah. For me to want to change for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's love. It's a compromise. Most definitely. You know, and a lot of times people get into show, huh? It's a whole nother show because people get together for various reasons. It's not always love. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe most next show, but we definitely got to talk about that. So that awareness piece, determination, you must be determined to change. Yeah. Because that determination is going to help us to be consistent. Yeah. We use the word in Bible study, perseverance. Perseverance, yes. You know what I mean? It's just, you have to be determined to do that. Determined to change. I ain't going to let nobody turn me around. That's right. Yeah. You know, so when you are determined, no one can talk you out of it. Yeah. You know, because some people will, oh, no, you're fine. But deep down within, you know, something is awry. Yeah. Those are the conversations that we have with ourselves, though. Those are conversations that you have within yourself. You have those where you know you need to change, and something that's like, well, you know, you're okay. And, you know, that's another voice. You're talking about voices. Yeah, there's another voice in there. Yes, yes. That's trying to get you to stay stagnant and not move forward. But then there's another voice saying, hey, you can do this. And I found out that voice is the voice of God. Yes. And you know what? One wonderful way to break the cycle of being yourself is to fast. Yes. One way to break the cycle of being yourself is, I'm serious, when you identify what needs to change. And you take that thing before the Lord and you fast on that, because fasting weakens the flesh. And that's all that's in the way anyway. It's ourselves. And it strengthens the spirit. Yeah, that's the wonderful power of God to allow us to, you know, move according to our own will. He gives us that choice. Yes. You know, I ain't forcing it on you, but if you want to keep doing this, you go ahead. Doesn't mean I love you any more or any less. Right. But you're made up like that, where you can do it the way you want to, or you can kind of make that decision and do it the way that's going to benefit you the best. That's why we make the decision. Yeah. And then we have the determination so that we can consistently work on it, but working on it in love. That's it in a nutshell. Working on it in love, not turning against yourself, because there's going to, you can expect for you to show up for you and you turn against you. Right. It doesn't work like that. You know, so that's a process in making the changes, having the awareness, the determination for the consistency, having an effective action plan. That's what I ask clients all the time. You know, what's your action plan?
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you don't feel like
Yeah.
doing it, what are you going to do?
Right.
When you get low and all of that, what are
Mhm.
you going to do? So you have to have things in place
Yeah.
because it's going to happen. We're so used to being comfortable
Yeah.
with who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we begin to procrastinate and we put it off.
Because we can allow for our feelings and emotions, you know, to move past the fact that we know we need to change. Like you're
Mhm.
talking about being determined, you know, having that determination to change. But if you allow for what you feel to get in the way of your progress of changing, you'll be in trouble.
Yes.
You'll be in
Yes.
trouble. Well, I don't feel like this today. Well, you know, if you do it, you'll be better, you know, on tomorrow. And so your feelings and emotions about changing have to be really non-existent.
That's right.
If it's using
Yeah.
the negative aspect.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Most definitely.
So we definitely want to function it with our wise mind. Our wise mind wants the best for
Yeah.
us. So the wise mind is combining both sides of your mind, which
Mhm.
is the emotional side.
Yeah.
You're going to have the emotions.
Yeah.
You're not going to
Yeah.
want to put the
Yeah.
work in.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
stay stuck because this is a place of familiarity
Mhm.
and I'm very comfortable here. This is where I am. This is what I do. Like we say,
You know, some people don't want to stay stuck. They want change to come easy.
yeah, and it's
You don't want to stay stuck. They just
Right.
wish there was another method.
right. They want change without change.
Change without change. Change
Yeah.
without working at it. They want to be a snap of
Yes.
a finger and you change. No, it really takes work.
It takes work. It
It's
takes work. So you definitely want to combine your emotional mind and your rational mind, you know, and say, you know, yeah, I know I don't feel like doing whatever today. I don't feel
Yeah.
like it, you
Yeah.
know, but then your rational mind is going to tell you the benefits of why you need to do what you don't
Right.
want to
There
do.
you go, right there. Exactly. You don't want to. Somebody else speaks up inside, be like, you know, but you really need to.
Right.
And
Yes.
if you do this, it's going to benefit you greatly.
That's right.
You know, so
That's
yeah, there's a
right.
war and a struggle going on within us. We don't even need the you know, the attention of others. We got this is what
Self
we have
that's
to deal
talking
with it.
all day
All the time.
long. Pastor Calloway is here. Good morning,
morning
to
to
you.
you.
Yeah, you know, so definitely sit with yourself.
Yeah.
Honor your emotions. We always want to honor our emotions because they come up for a reason. They're there for a reason. We want to honor your emotions, but we don't want the emotional mind to run the show because that's a one-way road to disaster, and you're not going to get anything done.
Yeah.
So incorporate your rational mind, put the two together, and this is how we really function with our wise mind.
Yeah.
We never negate, you know, ourselves because again, the feelings come up, they present themselves for a reason. Okay, I am sad, I'm depressed, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I don't want to change, this is too hard for me. Incorporate your rational mind. But if you just do a little bit today, if you do 15-20 minutes of exercise or whatever your challenge is, it's going to benefit you.
You know what I've learned, and what I'm learning is write it down. Make it visible, something that you see every day. I need to do this. You know, some people call it a vision board, but write it down as to the change that you that you need to make.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to go off and check this off, and it might be 3 months before you can check one of them off.
Yes.
You know, but you see that every day in your face. If I want to get here, these are the steps I have to take in order to get there.
That's right. And like I tell clients, positive affirmations are the bomb. And what I tell them, like on 3x5 cards, like if I know that I usually walk in a spirit of fear, or I'm intimidated easily, or I get angry easily, I have them write down on 3x5 cards who they want to be. Like I would say, I am bold, I am fearless, you know, I am courageous, but to post them in your bed, or like around your bed, because it'll be the last thing you see going to bed at night, but it'll be the first thing you see when you wake up in the morning. But when you see it, say it, because the power's in your mouth.
When you see it, say it, the power's in your mouth.
Yes, yes.
And like you said, man, you must take action.
That's right. Good morning, Catherine Stringer.
Good morning.
She says writing down is my only way of getting things
I hear you.
done.
That's true.
Yeah,
That is so
seriously.
true.
And then you're imprinting.
Mhm.
You're writing it down. You're imprinting
Yeah.
on your brain.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's even more powerful when you write it down. You're imprinting, and then you cause it to be more effective when you say it.
Yeah.
You
Because
know,
change is like a chore almost sometimes. You know what I mean? 'Cause what I mean by that is, who likes to do chores? You know, some people like they got that spirit on them where they just got to clean, clean, clean.
yeah,
But most people don't. You know, they can get
Like
away without doing chores.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
treat it like a chore
Mm-hmm.
until it becomes just a part
More
of your life.
natural.
More natural. Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. It needs to be done. Well, the room needs to be clean. The bedroom, the bathroom needs to be clean. The grass needs to be cut.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah, and this is when I say take it by force and not by choice.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
give yourself a choice.
And you
know
do
it
that a
needs to
lot
be
when
done.
it comes to exercise. I know.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it by. You always say that.
I have to use my own mantras. I have to do that, because if I allow my emotions to have its way, I'd never do it.
Or a place of comfortability. You're on the couch. The couch is hugging you. You're under the blanket. That feels good.
Seriously.
You ate a good meal.
Listen, I have to have a whole new wardrobe of bigger sizes.
Yeah.
Seriously. So we want to talk about a couple of reasons why we don't change. All right. These are the enemies of change.
Yeah.
Seven reasons, if we can get through them. The number one is fear. What does the Bible say about fear?
Listen, that fear is really great. No, let me say this. Fear is real.
Yes.
But God has not given us the spirit of fear. Right? Because we have fearful moments. Don't take on the spirit of fear. The spirit of fear will lock you up and restrict you from moving forward.
That's right.
All right.
Right. So courage is not the absence of fear.
Yeah.
Courage is basically discovering that something else is more important.
Most definitely. Yeah.
So you learn how to manage your fear.
There you go.
Okay. And we have to understand that most fear is learned behavior.
It's learned behavior.
We learn to fear. So anything that is learned can be unlearned. And it goes back to that rewiring of the brain, right?
And also, to me, like, fear is for you to approach something cautiously.
Yes. That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You approach it cautiously.
Yeah.
You pay close attention to what it is that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fearful of it.
Right.
But I'm careful as to how I approach this situation, or how I approach this part of my change.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have fear, okay? But again, it's how do we manage that fear?
Yeah.
How do we manage the fear?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to overcome it. So again, courage is not the absence of fear, but it is how do we manage the fear that we do have. All right. And then weakness.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Brittany says. I am reminded of The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. He talks about how to conquer the hidden fear and take life to the next level. Because fear, it has a tendency to cause paralysis.
Yeah.
It will stop you in your tracks. It will stop you. But you know, and I know, Bishop, that when God calls us to do something, it's always bigger than ourselves.
Most definitely.
And he's the one that puts the passion and the dreams and things in our heart so that we can pursue. So he put it there because he knows what he put inside each and every one of us. Now we have to trust that God knows his business concerning us.
But you and the person that whoever she just quoted, it's not that they are beyond fear right now, or as if they never have another fearful moment. They learn how to use fear as a tool.
Yes.
So when you learn how to use it to your advantage,
that's
what you do. You've conquered fear instead of
persevere.
Correct. Instead of fear, causing you to be, what's the word you just used?
Perseverance.
No. When fear locks you up, causes you to be
paralysis.
Yeah, it causes paralysis. Now you know how to use fear as a tool.
Yes.
It's there, but you know how to use it for your good.
And whatever it is, it must be worth taking the adventure, if you have the fear for it. Because I'm like, oh,
Yes.
okay, the enemy don't want me to have whatever it is. Why is this spirit coming trying to paralyze me?
Cautiously.
Yes.
You know, you move cautiously. It's going to happen. Kind of fearful, but you move in a different manner from what you would doing anything else.
But again, it actually demonstrates how powerful we are when we overcome it, though.
Exactly.
Because we're afraid, we're intimidated and all that, but then when we move with caution and then we overcome, and then you have the manifestation of whatever you went after, that's powerful.
Yeah, powerful. But then life will present something else to you that will cause you to have that same type of fear. That's when you learn how to use it.
That's right. And then you have your past experience.
Most definitely.
If I did it before, I can do it again. If I wrote one book, I can write 2 or 3.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if I can change my attitude, which was hard to overcome, I know I can change this about myself. Right. So our experiences also empowers us.
Most definitely.
You know, so weakness, you know, a lot of people feel like they're too weak. They don't have the strength. We talked about being consistent. You know what I mean? When we're trying to change things, we're trying to do self-improvement, overcome procrastination, overcome just whatever it is. We feel like sometimes we're too weak that we can't overcome it. But I heard a saying before that says weakness, and I like this. They say weakness is just, what did they say? Weakness. Oh, okay. Pain is just weakness leaving the body.
Okay.
Pain is just weakness because we wrestle with that thing.
Yeah.
It's like a war is going on inside of us. You talk about change.
So is that weakness meaning that, you know, a sense of being inadequate to what it is that you need to do, or you don't have enough of in order to make that happen?
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
So we count ourselves out.
Yeah.
We can't, but knowing that whatever we need, we can get.
Yeah.
Whatever you need, you can get. So you don't want to assume the position or posture of I'm too weak for that, and you have that internal conflict going back and forth. But whenever you have that struggle, just know that it's like pain. Pain is weakness that's leaving your body. So that's one way that you can look at it, like I'm getting stronger.
Yeah.
I'm really getting it because now I'm dealing with it. Now I'm moving forward in it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy.
Yeah. It hasn't stopped me. It just made me kind of, you know, try a little harder. There has to be more of an effort from you in order to make this happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So we have to move beyond where we are weak.
Yeah.
Where we are weak. You can have whatever you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay, because we're talking about introspection, self-evaluation. You can be whoever you want to be. Good morning to my beautiful mother, Ida Trout. Correa Scott is here. Make sure you all are sharing, you guys. Make sure you're sharing, because we believe this information is definitely going to help someone else.
Yes.
So we understand that the struggle is real. And I always say change is hard, but change is definitely doable. Yeah. Don't limit yourself. Look at your weak. God says what? That in your weakness, my strength is made perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So it depends on who you are. If you have faith in God, you know, that's where we go to for our strength. You know, we understand what God has given us. We are made and we are created in his image. So we know that he gives us dominion.
Yes.
You know, in the earth. You know what I mean? So if we're made in his image and after his likeness, you know, he's God in heaven, but we the little g on earth.
Yes.
We have to understand the dynamics of that. You know what I mean? So we will always need his assistance. We will always need his help. There's some groups that believe God doesn't get involved in human affairs, but he does.
Absolutely, he does.
He does.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So what do you all think? You know, what's some of your challenges when it comes to changing? What are some of your challenges? Change is hard, but change is definitely doable. Pastor Calloway says, overthinking makes change hard for me.
Yeah.
I tend to talk myself out of it
Yeah.
before I even, and
Yeah.
that's that self-sabotage.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Self-sabotage.
Mhm.
You know, and I think one thing that may help you too, because it's better on paper than it is in your head. As long as it's in your head, you're going to have ruminating thoughts, and they're
Right.
just going to keep going round and round and round.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Write it down. God adds to it. He'll give you
Yeah.
a strategic plan on how to make this thing happen, how to turn it around, you know, how to for it to turn out for you good. He always does that for me.
Yes.
So you
yes.
write it down, but you have to act on it immediately.
Act on it immediately.
You can't
That's
leave room
right.
for
Act on it immediately,
doubt.
and then have structure time
Yeah.
every day. Like if you're working every day, you know, from 7 to 7:30, this is time for me to write down my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, or 8 to 9 o'clock, I'm working and I'm researching. You got to have a plan. We talked about that earlier. Like, what are your action steps? You have to have all this stuff in place to be successful. You can't have it here. You have, that's why the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah.
After you write the vision, you must have action steps. What do I need to do?
You know what? What amazes me, though, I know it's probably a throw off, but it amazes me how, you know, some people can tell you this who's not of the, you know, Christian faith, to get you motivated to do things. And you are a believer, but you don't trust in what the word of God says. You know, when it says write the vision down, the Bible already tells you how to do it.
Yes.
It already tells you. You got the best information at your fingertips, in your hand. All we have to do is go back and do what it is Scripture tells us to do. We don't need it from another source.
Right, because it's already there.
It's already there, but you got to get in to see it. It ain't nothing new.
It's not.
So said, write it down, but hey, we can go back before that.
I mean, it's not just the Bible's not just a plan of salvation; it's a plan for life.
For life, period.
Yes. And then another enemy of change is too much pleasure. And I can use myself in this again, because if I like peppermint patties and I love carrot cake more than I love exercising, what's going to happen? You'll send me out to the store. Another bag. Give me another sack of peppermint patties. You know, so we can have too much pleasure. We have not counted up the cost yet. This is where we are. Remember, we talked about the cycle. We become ambivalent. Okay. We know we need to change, but I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, because I have some clients who are addicted, but they really like the addiction. They like drinking. They like smoking crack. They like smoking their marijuana, you know, so they have not really evaluated the cost and effects of what they're doing.
Man, you have to look at the long-term effects. A person, to me, that understands life in the middle of a crisis, you know, that, hey, what I'm doing now can really damage me later. You'll make change. You'll make the proper whatever you need to do to bring about change. You'll work at it.
Yes.
I don't want to be like this in 30 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know.
And we know what drugs and alcohol and sexual addictions, we know, we have the knowledge of it. What's
been said there. That's true. Just for the sake of time. That's all. So when we hear that music playing, which should be soon. Okay.
All right. Correa Scott says, I find it's very helpful if I want change in my life to act as if it's already happened. That's faith. Even though I'm in the same situation, along with having faith in God, it makes what you think is terrible, actual bearable. Oh, go on, girl, you preaching.
I like that.
That's true. And that is faith, because faith is calling those things that are not as though they already are. So that's good stuff.
So you do it now.
Do it now.
You do it now. That's why I say, don't wait till the battle is over. Shout now.
Yes. Larry says self-sabotage by way of overthinking, which leads to procrastination, is a challenge. The enemy is in us. It's within in.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an inner war that is going on, but we have to persevere, identify what it is we want to work on, write down your action plans, be nice and kind to yourself. All right, so we talked about weakness. Number 3 is too much pleasure. You like doing what you're doing, so you're not going to see the results. 4 is there's not enough pain. You really haven't experienced it yet. You haven't broken enough hearts yet. You know, you haven't been disgusted enough of your behavior. You know, so there's not enough pain involved. All right. 5 is being unorganized. You have to get organized. And this is why we're saying to write it down, to write it down and plan your action steps. 6 is the enemy of change is laziness. That's
true. That's probably the culprit. You know what I mean? Most definitely.
I'm just leave that one right there. Okay,
because that do something about it.
That's a spirit that the Lord has a lot to say about that.
That is true. Little folding of the hands.
Listen. You need to just observe the ants.
That's true.
And then 7 is just ignorance. It's just ignorance. You know, and ignorance is just the absence of knowledge. Okay. Find out what you need to do.
And it's not bad because you need to get informed, huh?
Of course.
That's all.
Because we don't know it all. How can I overcome? We have so many podcasts. We have everything on YouTube. We have the library still. There is no reason for us to remain in ignorance in times like today.
Get informed. Know what it is that you have to do, what you must do. In order to change, because one thing about this is when change is presented to you, you may not receive encouragement from others, or you're fine just the way you are. You must encourage yourself.
Encourage yourself.
To change.
It's all about you.
All about you.
Who do you want to be? Who and how do you want to be while we're here in this existence? So we love you all. Kimberly Bozeman on their healthy emotes.
Wonderful show today, huh?
Yes.
Wonderful show today. Thank you all for actually tuning in. Also, you do see the Cash App information that's on the screen, I believe. Please do that. Support Healthy Emotes and Talk Therapy Live. Do that by sending a donation to what's written on the screen.
All right. We love you all. Mwah.